What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and today I got a really cool knife to show you guys to do an overview of. This is the Sandrin Knives Torino. This is a very different knife. Different type of locking system, different materials, and super cool. I'm curious why we aren't seeing more knives with this blade still, but we'll get into that in a minute. This does have the Recoil Lock, which they claim was inspired by Snex, so they're giving props to Snex for the lock, and it works very well. It's not a whole lot to grab there. I think they did that for the ergos. It's pretty thin, but the whole knife is pretty thin, so it's carbon fiber frame, titanium pocket clip. I like that clip, although it seems a little large for the knife. I do like that clip with the shape of it and the milling, and it works really well. Goes in and out of the pocket really well. The action is really good, and this is a tungsten carbide blade. So this is I think we're not seeing more of this because it's difficult to sharpen, but once it is sharpened, it'll hold an edge for a very long time. This is the thinnest folding knife other than like my little classic SD that I've ever had in hand. Look at how thin that blade stock is. 51 thousandths, I think it is. Let me verify that real quick. Yeah, 51 thousandths. And yeah, 70 HRC is 71, so it's extremely hard. That's a thin blade, but tungsten carbide's a heavy metal, so as thin as this knife is, it still has a little bit of weight to it. It's not heavy by any means, but you can feel all the weight is in the blade because of the carbon fiber. And I'm not sure what this locking mechanism is made of. I'm not sure what that is. I can't find anything on that on their website. So 2.2 ounces. So we're getting down to bug out weight. You know, we're getting down to that super lightweight. Thumb studs work very well. They are titanium. Why does it not tell me what that is? I don't know if it's aluminum. You can't anodize titanium that color, but you could coat it. I'm not sure what the locking system is made of, but fantastic ergos, especially with that finger choil. This thing feels so good in hand. Give you a little jimp in there to rest your thumb. This thing is super slicey too, so slicey. I was surprised how good it cut. You've got more of like a Scandi grind on the blade, similar to that. It's you've got two different bevels there. You got on the larger, where you see the larger grind, you've got one angle, and then down at the edge you got a separate angle. So very interesting design, and it has a razor's edge on it. It is extremely sharp, and they do offer a sharpening service also. I'm not sure what you would need to do to sharpen this knife. If you need any special, you know, I don't know. I have no idea how. I don't think you're going to sharpen. You're not going to sharpen this on a whetstone, I don't think. And I'm not sure how well diamond stones would do with it. But I really like this thing, man. These run about $300, but you can pick these up on a couple European websites, which I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. If you know, Craig, if you watch this video, comment below the name of that website that had them for like $250. You have to wait a couple weeks to get it, but no big deal there. Free shipping, so no tax, free shipping. You can pick these up for like $250, which in my opinion is a great deal. They have some other models too. If you go to Sandrin Knives, or just Google Sandrin, well, you'll see it in the title of the video. I'll actually link their website down below. They have some really cool stuff. They have one titanium frame lock. All their knives use tungsten carbide. But let me give you an idea how thin that blade stock is. Here's the rock wall. Okay. What's something else that's pretty thin? The bug out's pretty thin. I mean, not real thin, but pretty thin. I think the bug out's 90 thousandths, if I remember correctly. This is 51 thousandths. It is so thin. It is so cool. I can't remember what the rock wall is. I want to say the rock wall is 90 thousandths also. But so much thinner than both of those knives. give you a size comparison using those two also while I've got them out here. A little bit shorter than the rock wall, and also going to be a little bit shorter than the bug out. I got the scales on this bug out, the titanium scales. What else can I show you? As far as thinness goes, bug out's going to be much closer to it. Thickness of the handle, it's a little thinner than the bug out, even not by much, just a hair, but it's contoured quite a bit. So out here on the edge, it's a lot thinner than it almost fit inside a bug out. The blade pretty much fit inside a bug out blade. I mean, it's just crazy how thin this blade is. I feel like it's fragile, but I know it's not because of what it's made of. You know, I feel like I could easily break it, but I know I'm not going to. It looks like it would be fragile, but it is not. It's got great action too, man. Great action. Look at this. It just drops. Of that 2.2 ounces this thing weighs, I would say 1.8 ounces of it is the blade, probably. Pretty close, because there are no liners in here. It's just a titanium, or I mean a carbon fiber scales. No liners in there. None at all. And I'm not sure how the lock works exactly, what's going on in there. Looks like when the blade is open, the stop pin is catching there. Then this next lock, or they call it a recoil lock. I'm not sure how it's catching. I don't see any other milling on the blade to where it's hitting. I think it somehow works with the stop pin and prevents the blade from moving. I'm not sure. Interesting though. But just, man, look how thin that is. I'm just flabbergasted by how thin this thing is. Here's a this variant. About the same length. A little bit shorter than the variant. But again, blade stock. Jeez. Just crazy thin. I guess the reason we're not seeing more of this is the difficulty to sharpen would be my only guess. I mean, there's if it's going to hold an edge like forever, I mean, is that such a big deal, really? Yeah, I'm going to have to do some research on what's required to sharpen this. And those scratch marks you see in the blade, it comes like that. This is a knife that it's meant to be beat on and used hard, believe it or not, yet it's this thin. So wild. Good looking knife in my opinion too. I really like the way it looks. When I did that unboxing of a bunch of Craig's stuff, the live earlier in the week, I set one of the envelopes to the side. It had this and another knife in it, which I'll be touching on a little later. This is not for the knife sale though, just so you know. Yeah, this is just for me to check out. He thought I would be interested in this one, and I am. It's got a good sound too. I'm trying to hope my mic will pick it up, but that tungsten hits when it on the close. Listen. Yeah, this thing is super cool. The only downside I think some people may have with it is the recoil lock. Because they're keeping everything so thin, you don't have a whole lot to grab here. Right, you gotta use your fingernail to grab that. It works really well. It's not hard to pull it back at all. I mean, it's very, once you know where it's at and you feel it, it's fine. But at first it took me a second to get the right feel. And if you don't have fingernails, this one's going to be an issue for you, because I don't have the longest fingernails, but I can catch it with my nail. If you're one of those people that bite your nails and you don't have fingernails, you're probably not going to like this knife, just because of the access to the recoil lock. Ergos are fantastic. So good. This knife is so comfortable in hand. The way this pocket clip is done, because it gets thinner all the way to the tip here, by the time where that's at in your hand, I mean, it just vanishes. It vanishes. And this is so wide up here, you feel it right there, but it's so flat and wide that, I mean, you don't really feel it. You just feel something's there. It just feels like it's part of the knife. There's nothing about it feels uncomfortable in any way. Yeah, really cool knife, guys. Really, really cool knife. Makes me want to check out some more Sandrin knives. one of their other models that looks really cool. It's going to be heavier and everything, though. It's going to be a heavy knife. Is the Monza. It's a titanium knife, titanium handles, but has the same locking system, milled titanium, different blade shape, but it's thin also. That one runs like $300, I think, something like that, $350. This one's $300 there, but you can't, like I said, you can find this in the European markets for about $250 shipped. So this is something I think I'm going to get down the road. You talk about a one and done beater knife, work knife. I mean, it's carbon fiber. It's not going to rust. Yeah, it's not heavy. It's sharp as hell. It's going to hold its edge longer than anything else you have. This knife will hold its edge longer than anything else you have. My one concern with it would be, will it chip? But the research I've done, no one is complaining that their blade is chipping. And look at the edge that comes on it. I mean, it's got a mirror edge on tungsten carbide. Hopefully I can get that to show up. I send this thing with a screaming edge on it. It is extremely sharp. I cut some paper with it, and I didn't think it cut well because of the way it looks like a Scandi grind. Man, it went through paper like butter. Like butter. Cool knife. Really appreciate Craig sending this one in. Yeah, out of all the knives he's sent me, this is probably my favorite so far. Love this thing. Yeah, it's so different, such a good look. A lot of times with a new design, a new look, or or something that looks this good, that has all these different, like the recoil lock, the blade. It's cool and all, but it's usually not a good tool. This one's going to be a great tool. This thing will be great. I mean, I would carry this daily, and you don't have to worry about damaging it. I mean, it's tungsten carbide. You're going to be good. So, yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you own any knives, Sandrin knives, or any other knives that have tungsten carbide blades, comment below what they are. I'd like to look into more, see what other knives are out there that are using this. And if you know why more knives aren't using it, or more knife manufacturers aren't using it, comment below also. I'm assuming it's the sharpening difficulty, but maybe there's something else that I'm not aware of. Maybe there's some other reason that more people aren't using it. So let me know below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. Hit that like button for me if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one.